Om. गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रजवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शं चतुष्पदे ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्री साईश्वराय नमः। हरिः ओम। अग्ना विष्णु सजोषसे मा वर्धन्तु वाङ्गिरः जुम्नैर्वाजेभिरागतम् वाजश्च मे प्रसवश्च मे प्रयतिश्च मे प्रसितिश्च मे धीतिश्च मे क्रतुश्च मे स्वरश्च मे श्लोकश्च मे श्रावश्च मे श्रुतिश्च मे ज्योतिश्च मे सुवश्च मे प्राणश्च मे पानश्च मे व्यानश्च मे सुश्च मे चित्तञ्च आधीतञ्च मे वाक्च मे मनश्च मे चक्षुश्च मे श्रोत्रञ्च मे दक्षश्च मे बलञ्च ओजश्च मे सखश्च आयुश्च मे जरा च आत्मा च मे तनूश्च मे शर्म च मे वर्म च मेऽङ्गाणि च मे स्थाणि च मे परुगुंषि च मे शरीराणि च मे ज्येष्ठं च आधिपत्यं च मे मन्युश्च मे भामश्च मे मश्च मेऽम्भश्च मे जेमा च मे महिमा च मे वरिमा च मे प्रथिमा च मे वर्ष्मा च मे द्राघुया च मे वृद्धं च मे वृद्धिश्च मे सत्यं च मे श्रद्धा च मे जगच्च मे धनं च मे वशश्च मे त्विषिश्च मे क्रीडा च मे मोदश्च मे जातं च मे जनिष्यमाणं च मे सूक्तं च मे सुकृतं च मे वित्तं च मे वेद्यं च मे भूतं च मे भविष्यच्च मे सुगं च मे सुपथं च मरुद्धं च मरुद्धिश्च मे क्लुप्तं च मे क्लुप्तिश्च मे मतिश्च मे सुमतिश्च मे ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. Let us all work together with great vigor. May we, may our studies shine and illumine our intellects. May we not hate each other. Let there be peace, peace, and peace. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hari Om, Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. First and foremost, I think, if you are on this satsang, kindly please do not multitask. Please do not multitask. Having something going through your ears, but eyes focused on watching TV and your hands doing some computer work, and in the meantime answering your phone calls. Please, this is Yajna. This is Yajna. If you are sitting around a Homakunda, the only thing that you focus is on the fire in front of you, and whenever there is a swaha, you are offering into the fire. This is Yajna. If you do not take this seriously as a Yajna, kindly don't join. No problem at all. You can always watch at your convenience, like you watch a TV show on YouTube. That is also fine. But please, if you are online with all of us on this satsang, do not multitask. The reason why you are taking this time to come together is not because there is somebody who is going to expound on the meaning of some Rudram eloquently, because this speaker is nobody, nothing. I do not know anything to be expounding on. I'm not a scholar. The speaker is not a scholar, nor has he learnt Veda under any scholar. The only intent and the purpose of this yajna is for all of us to come together and to collectively participate in this. On Thanksgiving days, this beautiful 95 hours of offering going on to Bhagavan in East Coast, and they asked me to do a satsang, and I'm so used to satsang where there is collective participation. It's very hard for the speaker to give a lecture. It's not it's not in the system to give a lecture. I am nobody to lecture anything to anybody, let alone myself. I am as much, perhaps more ordinary spiritual aspirant than each and every one of you, probably even less. So it is extremely critical that we have the discipline to participate in a yajna with full attention of the faculties that have been given to us. And this full attention of the faculties, may those be with me in the yajna. This is the essence of Chame, Chamakam, Chame, may those be with me. What are those to be with you? Every single faculty and the cell of the body, may that be with me. May that not be separate from me in the context of doing this yajna. And this with me is not the me of I as the individual ego complex. May that be with me means may that be in the samashti, in the collectiveness. May all those be with me means in the collective spirit. May those be with me. Not as an individual ego, may those be with me. And hence, I constantly, the speaker is striving to engage all of you to participate, to share, etc. Because this is not a pravachanam. I am, brothers and sisters, please, this is not a pravachanam. You can go listen to those pravachanas ab infinitum. Thousands of hours of pravachanas are there. This is not a pravachanam. So, what are these skills, the capacities, the presence that give us together to be able to do this yajna? This is what we are studying. Because if the most important disease that has creeped into the human mind across board is called multitasking. I'm sorry, whoever has invented this thing called multitasking and told people that that's the most efficient way of living is 100% incorrect. 100% incorrect. Multitasking. What is multitasking? Listening something in the ear and trying to study a book in front. This is multitasking. And how many absolute 150 bits per second of attention span of the mind? What percentage of this 150 bits of focus are we putting into something that we are doing? This is the concentration of the mind, the capacity of the mind, the skill of the mind that is so intense, and its capacity, even one bit is wasted, the capacity of the mind falls down exponentially. A greatest example that I know that has lived this is Swami Vivekananda and some of the great ashram Swamijis that I have come across, Ramakrishna Mission. Unbelievable attention span, unbelievable concentration and power of mind and focus. Unbelievable. So much so that Swamiji entire Encyclopedia Britannica, page by page, he knew what was in that. Can you believe what is that human mind's capacity? And it is not just unique to Swamiji. The only difference is that Swamiji's attention span of 150 bits per second was every one of them was in front of him without any distraction associated with it. This is the power of the mind and the concentration of the mind. We studied this a little bit. I hope you remember where we, if you paid attention, which part of the Namakam we talked about this concentration of the mind. Anybody remembers? Does anyone remember where we studied this concentration of the mind in Namakam?
Second Anuvaka.
What are the yajus? Second Anuvaka. Second Anuvaka is what, Amma?
Second Anuvaka on the mind, the focusing of the mind and the 5 organs of action.
Second Anuvaka. What is second Anuvaka? Hiran Namo Hiranyabhave Senanya Dishanchapataye. That is second Anuvaka. Is that what you are referring to?
Yes.
No, that is.
No, second Anuvaka. No, I'm sorry. No. The first Anuvaka, Balam Chame Ojas Chame.
No, I'm not talking about Chamakam. I'm talking about Namakam. In which
Oh,
Namakam Anuvakam did we study the concentration and the power of the mind?
And the third Anubhakam, Nama
Yes,
Isumabhyo,
uh,
Isumabhyo, Brahma
yeah,
Vibhyo, Nama,
perfect, perfect. Who is that? Bibu.
Sai,
Bibu?
Sai Ramana, yes.
Yeah, Bibu. Bibu caught it. Ishumadbhyo dhanvaviभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिददानेभ्यश्च वो नमः आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो अस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमः आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च. This is the anuvakam in which we talked about the powers, the power of choice, the
And
power of focus. Beautiful. Yes, not a single thought. Ishumadbhyo dhanva vibhyashchavo namo nama. That is the power and the concentration and the focus of the mind. And that mind that is focused can attain anything. And if one mind can do that, understand what is the focus of the collective mind. Collective mind. What can it do? What's the power and capacity of that collective mind? And that collective mind is not the individual mind. Imagine the power of the collective prayer that we talked about. The entire aspect of spiritual aspirant and sadhana is to go beyond this individual mind and to collectively engage all the thoughts and the instincts and the intent together with integrity of the thought, word, and the action, using the skills and the capacities to deliver the results that are universal peace. We have not even, this is what we are studying now in the second Anuvakam of Chamakam, Chamakam, Prashna, the inquiry into Jaishtanchama Adhipatyanchame Manyushchame Bhamaschame. Brothers and sisters, I am I am pleading you, turn the Rudram from simply chanting into living. And that experience of turning the Rudram from simply chanting itself is so powerful. Imagine what it is to turn that into the context of inner standing and a practice. This is the purpose of this yajna that is being conducted. And this is a pledge. This is not an imposition. This is a pledge. And this pledge, the power of this pledge is so, when I am using the word the power, don't look at that as the power as we understand in the context of the power as in power to overturn something or the power of victory or something like that. Because we are always focused on some kind of a result for what we do. The process is much more powerful than the result that is attained. Imagine what it was, the context of every day, the body just simply waking up at one time just to be in this urge to be present as a collective prayer of 95 days. After that is over, what happened? That the process going through this collectively enchants the mind and empowers each and every single skill and capacity bestowed by the divinity within us. And it is absolutely fine. It is not unspiritual not to utilize the skills and capacities that are given to us. Do not think that spirituality means not doing anything and simply saying everything is God, He will take care, therefore I don't have to do anything. That if you just broken the walls of Jaishtanchama Adi Patyanchame, beyond that individual intellect, Buddhi, the Dhi, Buddhi, Buddhi, associated, the intellect associated with the ego I, when it enchants and is enlightened, collectively becomes Buddha, A for all. Buddhi, the individual intellect, when expanded into all pervading consciousness, illumined by that, then that is enlightenment, that is called Buddha. Buddha is not an individual, Buddha is collective mind. It is the Samyak mind. It is the Samyak vision. It is the Samyak bhavam. It is the Samyak karma. It is Samyak kritam. This is what we are invoking in the context of second Anuvakam of Chamakam. All this preamble that I am giving, once we understood that, then all these mantras become evident right in front of our eyes. Evident, they express. You don't need to go look for the meaning of those. This is the beauty of the mantras. They unravel themselves. They're looking forward to having you see what they mean. You don't have to go study books and get drowned in hours and hours of pravachanas. So when we are connecting to this Adhi, Pati, that which is beyond the individual intellect, the collective Buddha, Jaishtanchama Adhi Patyanchame, that has now a resolve of inner vision, which is called Manu, and the resolve of connecting that inner vision with outer reality called Bhama, with an attitude and an aptitude and awareness of coolness called Ambha, that is invincible, invictus, Jema, brings forth wonders that are incomprehensible by the individual intellect or the mind. Mahima expands in super consciousness, expands continuously, expansion. Jema, Mahima, Varima, Pradhima, Varshma, Draghu, Vruddham, Vruddhi. The chemes are very simply, may those be with the me. The me here is not the individual me. So in the second Anuvakam of Chamakam, there are 38 chemes that are invoked, and that 38 chemes in the first Anuvakam, how many chemes are invoked? People remember?
36.
36. Yes, 36. Thank you. Thank you. So when we are looking at this last week on last Saturday, I believe we have studied the first 14, Varshma, Vruddham, Vruddhi. That's where we stopped. So a healthy mind, a collective healthy mind, what is Aurobindo refers to as a super mind or a supramental mind. This mind is the one associated with command over the senses, command driven by the one that commands everything. Pati means command, Lord, whatever you may want to, Adhipati, Pati. And that resolve, inner resolve, the resolve to bring that inner resolve to outer reality, unfathomable amaha, with coolness of attitude, aptitude, and awareness, Amba, Jema, which is invictus, Mahima, glorious, Varima, incredible capacity to express itself, Pratima, capable, foremost, Varshma, with a wide choice of executability, Draghu, yeah, unending to continue that work with plenitude or abundance, Vruddham, Vriddhi, that is constantly growing, abundance that is constantly growing. Such a mind is what we are saying, may I be that. May I be, that means from a individual ego point of view, may I be, that means I offer myself, my offer my individual I to that. Chame. It can also be chame means may that be mine, the collective mind. This super mind, supramental mind, then is connected. The next five, if you look at Satyam, Sraddha, Jagat, Dhanam, Vashaha, Tvishihi. In the context of this resolve that we are looking at, it's always connected to the truth. What is truth? Anybody, please?
Never
Something that
changing
does
and
not
not
change.
changing.
Never changing. Yes, very good. Truth means Trikala, Bhashyam, Satyam. This that is impelled by the constant presence to that is never changing. And in order to have the resolve in that which is never changing, it's very hard. So, to focus on that which is never changing in the constantly changing, the changeless in the changing, one should have faith. That is Shraddha. You see, Satyam, Shraddha. How they're going together? Satyam, Shraddha. It's easy to say there is something that is completely changeless when what you see around you or within you is constantly changing, second by second or split second by split second. Then you need to have faith in that which is changeless, in the changing. What is changing? Jagat. Jagat. Jayate gamayate iti jagat. Jagat, what is coming and what is going, Jagat. Now you see, Shraddha in towards Satyam, which is unchanging, and immediately the Shraddha is now trapped between two words, Satyam and Jagat. And of course, what is also changing is Dhanam, material wealth. Jagat is a non-material wealth that is coming and going. Dhanam is material wealth that is coming and going. But we are thinking it is not going anywhere, it's only accumulating. But In order to have that faith, you need to have vashaha, vasi, vasi, Sairam. Where did we learn the word vasi?
Eighth Anuvaka. Namah Shiva.
Eighth Anuvaka, yes. What is vasi?
Shiva. Shiva.
Shiva.
Shiva. See now I know you are all paying attention, or at least a few people are getting it into their system. Siva Yanama Vayanamasi Yanama Siva Vasi Swaha Vasi Vashaha. May the control, may that power to prevail and to control this mind which is focusing on what is constantly changing. May that be mine. And once you have Vasi, you have Twishi. Twishi. Twishi is the radiance or the aura. Hence, this is now the intellect in this 5 chamas that we just studied from 15 to 20. This is the intellect now that is enabling to differentiate or to discriminate from the changing to the unchanging, from the real, from the unreal to the real, and the one that is the closest to this unchanging in the context of our system, with an unfathomable faith in the unchanging, while it is being associated with the unreal and what is coming and going in the context of both material and non-material wealth that are transitory, and that which shall prevail with radiance of the true self. And this is the dhi yo naha prachodayat. We're studying in this Anuvakam about the first 14 are associated with the mind, the supramental mind. Now the same thing now being expressed as the intellect, the dhi, the Buddha, is what is expounded in these next 5. So the mind, the intellect, what is this Antakarana complex? What is the next one?
Bodhi.
Buddhi is intellect.
Chittam.
Yes, what is Chittam in English?
Conscious.
Conscience. So as we move towards this, the next chames, Krida, Moda, Jatam, Janishyamanam, Suktam, Sukrutam, Vittam, Vedyam. Yes, you're all with me. Those are the next that we are studying, 21 through 28. You see, there is an attitude of playfulness associated with this awareness. Once you know that life is a game, then you play it. It is a sport. Otherwise, we take it so seriously with all the things that are imprinted in our memory, and then those memories are playing us. Instead, we play with those memories. Am I making sense, Sairam? It's so beautiful just to have an attitude of playfulness about life, where instead of your memories, we said chittam is the storage, the conscience, where there is imprints, images, perceptions, everything that is stored in this memory, and they are playing with you. Instead, what we are seeking here, chame, collectively, may we have playfulness, an attitude of playfulness that is associated with happiness. Modaha, modaha. Kridachame, modaschame. Very beautiful. We take life so seriously that we are getting played by these memories. Instead, play with memories. Do not be played by memories. It's an imprint. And when you have an attitude of playfulness, then what you will have is a happiness. Modaha. When I take a break, yes, what is the question, Kusuma?
Shekhar, this is Arun.
Ah,
Question is from Arun, not from Kusuma.
okay, Sairam.
Ram. So it's kind of, the statement left me baffled, because there is nothing that I know which is unchanging. All of everything that I perceive and I live through is changing. So I kind of know this is, maybe it's a one-on-one question. I should have gotten it by now, but I'm not sure what is this unchanging thing.
What is it that is unchanging?
Yes.
Okay. I'll give the metaphors which you probably are familiar with already. What is this? I'm showing. What?
The golden ring,
Okay. What is this? I'm showing.
the chain, the golden chain.
Okay. What has changed?
The form has changed.
What did not change?
The gold.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks.
No, no, you just answered the question.
uh, I I just leave it. I don't want to take everybody's time.
No. You did not. You should not just leave it. Just hang on to it until we are clear about it.
So uh, I kind of get the analogy, but so everything I see is changing. All my relationships are changing. Swami himself, his form changes. Everything changes, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So
So the faith we're talking about is the faith that is we're talking about is to constant visual of the changeless in the changing. You're accepting the change, but yes, your faith is in the gold, not in the ring or in the chain, etc. No. So when we are talking about the changeless in the changing, yes, the gold has changed from ring to a necklace. The wood has changed from a table to a chair. or the context of everything that we are constantly seeing is changing, but underneath the substratum of that is what your faith is in, the changeless, in the changing.
So going through that kind of reductionist argument, it'll end up that the only thing that I know which is unchanging is my own presence within the whole
Yes,
storyline. There is
yes,
nothing else, that everything else is changing except the fact that I'm here. Uh,
yes,
that is the
yes.
only thing that seems to be constant. And then, sorry, that begs the question, I, who, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so the context of what we are saying is, may that faith, the chame means, may I have that faith which is constantly seeing the changeless in the changing.
Ah,
Chame, Shraddha, chame. So it's a reminder to yourself that yes, there is Jagat, there is Dhanam, there is all those, and your mind is going out of control, looking at all this thing that is changing. But remember, the truth is unchanging. Have faith in that unchanging. How do you do that? By having the control, Vasi. And therefore, I would have an illumined mind, which is Tvishi, that will see clearly now, an intellect that is seeing very clearly now, Dhiyo yo naha prachodayat. This clarity of this intellect now is, it is able to control the mind that is focusing only. See, here is the thing, the beauty of the thing. The senses are perceiving what is constantly changing, which is the input that is coming to the mind, and that mind is going berserk, focusing on what is changing. But then the intellect that is illumined is saying, hey, see clearly, have control over that, and now say, I am able to see with faith the unchanging in the changing. Satyam cha me, Shraddha cha me, Jagat cha me, Dhanam cha me, Vasischa cha me, Tvishish cha me.
okay. So if I may summarize, so uh, to seek, to have faith that there is something unchanging in every changing situation, uh, is what we need to hang on to, because that what is unchanging may be not that evident all the time, right, in the changing world.
No,
Sorry,
the only thing that is constant is
we change.
okay. Uh, E is equal to mc square, where energy is constant, mind is changing, and C is square. Sorry, I had to. So the fact is change. The truth is unchanged.
Okay, I'll ponder this. It needs some, yes.
But in the context of what we're doing as Chamaka Prashna is, you see, now this is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. It is, as people think it is philosophy, it is absolutely not philosophy. It is, everything is incorporated, and no reality, whether it is relative or personal or absolute, is omitted in this picture, with a constant reminder of what is the truth and what is relative. If the relative is changing, the absolute at the personal level is unchanging. Focus on this while you don't go berserk to what is changing. And this is the playfulness, that is the krida, that is the beautiful. See how these words are embedded in the order in which they are embedded in itself is phenomenal. In itself is phenomenal. Immediately then say, this is the play, krida. Enjoy the play, moda. So far, so good. Having fun.
Yep. Always. Although I will just say one more thing. Uh, what you said in terms of this being a practical philosophy, if we insist on using the word philosophy, is that it is observable and in our own lives. And I've always challenged Swami that if you are saying something and I can't find it in the real world, then I don't want to accept it. If there is some statement that's being made and I cannot, with enough effort, observe it in the real world, for me it is untrue, right? Maybe true for somebody else, but you know. And I found that it always, if you go with that challenge, it seems to somehow show up whatever it is that you're.
Yeah, so there is nothing called untruth. Okay, now I will want to be very, very clear here, because a lot of people I know, when they're singing Asatoma Sadgamaya, they sing from untruth, lead us to the truth. There is nothing called untruth. The word untruth is not a word that even exists. From the unreal to the real. What is a truth is only one parameter. One parameter. All the five human values is one parameter. And I always give this example of temperature. There is nothing called heat or cold. When temperature is low, it is cold. When temperature is high, it is hot. So there is only one metric, which is temperature. And when that is low, Sairam, somebody should mute, please. When that is low, it is cold. When it is high, it is hot. There is nothing called good. And when I say nothing called, relatively there is a good and a bad, but the metric is only one thing called love. When that love is low, it is bad. When it is high, it is good. There is nothing called untruth. When it is unreal, or it is real. Truth is only one metric. Dharma is only one metric. Peace is only one metric. It is all one metric that is unchanging. But relative metric is how we getting confused. So there is nothing called untruth. Unreal, real. What is unreal? What is real? What is unreal is what is changing. That is the facts. The truth, which is the changeless, is the real. This is not philosophy. I can give you thousands of examples related to this in nature itself. So do not get carried away by untruth, unreal.
We'll give it my best shot, Shekhar.
Keep trying, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes. So in the context of Krida, this is the play. This is the beautiful play. Just to pay attention to what is real, what is unreal is a beautiful play. Enjoy it. And life is this game. Play it, as Bhagavan says. Life is a challenge. Meet it. Life is a dream. Realize it. Bhagavan has said so many things about life. This life is the play of the memories that are imprinted, and that is the chitta. Awareness of thought is chitta. Now, these words that we hear, mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, da, 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 we repeat these words like parrots. But we need to understand how they are manifested within us in reality. Don't accept the word for a word. Dig into that word. Look at that word. Look at it with vigil and keenness and focus, and ask the question, what is this? This imprints that are playing out. When you play vigil to them, it becomes a beautiful game. Instead of you played by your instincts, you play with your instincts. Maya viva vijrumbhaya tyapi maha yogi va yasvechaya tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye namayidam Sri Dakshina Murtaye. Now you, Krida, Moda. About what? Jata, Janishyamana. Jata means that is already born. Janishyamana, that is to be born. What is already born is your past. What is to be born? Future. And in the context of this, you're saying it's a play. What is already played out? What is to be played out? All of this is the sport, Krida. It is coming from the context of what is already imprinted. Suktam, Sukrutam, which is spoken beautifully, which is to be done excellently. So now there is speech, there is action, then there is knowledge. Vittam, which is already acquired. Vedyam, which is to be acquired. Now you see how these beautiful five, Krida, Moda, Jata, Janishyamana, Sukta, Sukruta, Vitta, Vedya, these are pointing out to the Chitta, which is the imprinted aspect of our, the same thing now, as I mentioned, the super mind, the super intellect, this is now the super conscience, the Chittam. Now this Krida is is such a beautiful Leela. Now this is another thing that we need to understand. I was sharing this. I was sharing in the satsang on Thursday on Thanksgiving Day about the alphabet of Satyasai alphabet as his quotes, all the way from A to Z. A standing for A, always be cheerful. B, be happy. C, character. D, the four Ds. E, the ends. F, the four Fs Bhagavan talks about. G for God. H for the three H's. I for I am I. J for joy. All these Bhagavan's quotes I was going through. When it comes to this incredible thing as the Leela of Bhagavan, what is the Leela of Bhagavan? Once we understand this Krishna's life, where when he started as the young boy stealing that butter, and when he is getting out of the home after stealing the butter, he will smear a little bit on the face of the Gopika, he will smear a little bit on mother in law, and he'll go behind the wall and start watching. They wake up and they look at each other with the what is smeared on their faces and start accusing themselves. And then while they were accusing themselves, then they realize that each other has on their own face who put it. Bhagavan comes out and smiles and say, hey, it is my Leela, my play. You fools, you are attributing this to yourselves. Know that it is my Leela. And at the end of the war, during the Nishkramana, the departure from that avatar, Bhagavan also is so beautifully placed another Leela. Dharmaraja wants to go and say to Gandhari, console her from all the sorrow she has gotten by loss of all the hundreds of sons that she had. And then Krishna says, no, 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 you should not go. I will go first, then you come later. Dharmaraja doesn't understand why Krishna is saying that. No, Dharmaraja, you follow me, you don't go first. Lo and behold, when Krishna shows up first, because Gandhari has the blindfold, she doesn't realize who is in front. Then she say, who you have killed all my sons, your clan will go. It will disappear, it will be destroyed, and you will die like my son without any aid. All of that stuff she is giving, all these curses. Krishna smilingly accepts everything. And then Dharmaja walks in, and thereby Krishna has saved the clan of the Pandavas and took upon himself everything that she has cursed. Even that is his Leela. So, how thankful we should be for this play of Bhagavan in our own lives. Thanksgiving weekend. How could we be ever thankful? Even the word expression of the word thanks is to that is impossible, incomprehensible, immeasurable love. Krida chame, modaschame, jatanchame, chanishyamananchame, suktanchame, sukritanchame, vittanchame, vedyanchame. The one who knows this game plan will truly have happiness without getting hung up in the past or in the future. Simply seeing it, simply doing it, simply saying it in the awareness of the thought, word, and the action with an awareness that is already present, with an awareness that is yet to be dawned. What is that awareness that is already present? The awareness that is yet to dawn is the awareness of who am I? Koham, naham, soham, vittanchame, vedyanchame. I think our time is up. Yes, it's 8 o'clock. Any questions, comments?
Shekhar, if I may, just on uh, the last two sessions, I haven't been fully present because of other reasons. One of the things that you said struck me very much. I would just like to recap that. I always thought this chame thing was give me. I wish that always that was my understanding of the meaning. It was like we're asking somebody to give me, but you said that it is let me be that, right? So that kind of it was just a small shift in how you look at it, but it made a huge difference personally to me. That it wasn't about trying to get something, which always felt a little odd to me, but it really just when you are being something, it really is just coming somewhere from within. It almost seemed like you're pushing the krida button or the moda button.
Cha, yes, cha me, cha, that may I am, that I am. Cha may that be mine. So either way it works. You see the the beauty of Sanatana Dharma is it doesn't take you away from the so-called worldly aspiration of benefit or the spiritual aspiration of it. It never distinguishes or differentiates. One is lower and the other is a higher. This is the most important aspect of spiritual realization, is that there is nothing lower, there is nothing higher. That which is pursued in the relative world shall be given as much as which is pursued in the context of the absolute. So the relative and the absolute, that is not taken away. Therefore, these mantras, for those that want to use them in the context of individual benefit, they will still get it. No question about that. Because otherwise, that is the beauty of these mantras, is that they do not differentiate. Just like the sun who is shining doesn't differentiate to shine. I shall only shine on a good plant but shall not shine on a weed. What is the purpose of me shining on a weed? It is useless. Sun doesn't think like that. So do Vedas are undifferentiating, and therefore they will give the benefit. So use the cheme whichever way you want, doesn't matter.
Sairam.
You see, this is the essence and the unbelievable aspect about Vedas. Now you see now why Bhagavan's mission was Veda Rakshana, Veda Poshana, Dharma Samstapana. It's not about a religion. It is not about a faith. It does not really matter how you pursue it. It is what is the most supreme in the context of the spiritual journey of individuals. Whether you want to realize or not, that is written on the wall. There is nobody in this being 8 point whatever million species. Every single one ultimately has to realize the divinity within. The only thing is, some are postponing, some are embarking on it, but that goal is unchanged. So do not try to think that we have escape from this. Happiness is union with God. Sairam. Anyone else has any questions, comments? Otherwise, yes, go ahead, Asha ji. Asha, you raised your hand. Somebody raised their hand, Asha. Are you speaking? If you're speaking, we can't hear. Okay, I guess that was a mistake. Yes, Asha ji, go ahead. Sairam, yes. Okay. Sairam, anybody else? All of you are blissed out. I want to say gratefulness to Bhagavan in all of you who have joined this 95 days of prayers. Gratefulness to Bhagavan in each and every one of you who prayed unconditional love to be dawned upon this. And for those of you who are looking at key performance metrics, I was telling to a few people on a lighter note, key performance metrics. What happened with 95 days of prayers? Did anything useful happen or not? Because people are always looking for the result. And three things, at least in the context of United States. Number one, everybody that said Kamale, Kamalalaye, know that Vice President is Kamala now. Okay. Second, second is whoever prayed to Rudra wholeheartedly, Vishwasya Bheshaji, 3 vaccines are coming out. And then whoever has played very Beautifully to Mahalakshmi. Dow Jones crossed 30,000. So key performance metrics have been accomplished at least in the United States of America. But I'm only obviously saying that in a lighter note. But the fact of the matter is, brothers and sisters, when we were doing the Abhishekam in Sai Seva Sadan to Bhagwan on that morning of 23rd here in California, I have to tell you, it was not three voices that were chanting. Every one of your voices was heard in the hall. It was like hundreds of people were chanting in that hall. It was, I could feel the voice of every single person that did these prayers, not only just joined for the 24 hours of prayers, but all the people that did not open the mic and chant. Please know that every one of your voices was heard in this beautiful altar that you are all seeing behind me. The presence of all of you was 100% evident to me, because I was wondering, oh my God, where is all this sound coming from? What is this sound that has resonating in this hall? That was every one of you. My humble pranams to Bhagwan in each and every one of you. Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. Let us all continue to work together with great vigor. May our studies shine and illumine our intellects. May we not hate each other. Let there be peace, peace, and peace. समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु 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 ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Jai Sai Ram. Thank you very much for joining.
Sai
Jai Guru.
Ram.
Sai
Thank
Ram.
you.